recording.
So we pick up a little after the fight between Aster and Lex. Regardless of when it happened, and so did everything that followed with the not doctor and the referee and the Leviathan's Rage spell. It was a bit of a chaotic turn of events, and it was quickly led up with a couple of people wondering where their guests had gone. And when you returned to the dining hall, Arthur, Helia, and Lance, Razz was already there, basically glaring daggers into a certain hooded individual, basically pinning him to his seat if it weren't for the fact that his bodyguard, General Ray, was already keeping a hand on his shoulder to make sure he did not run again. And when you had taken your seat in a proper manner, not too far, but not too close to the king and everybody else, it was silent for a little while. Even though Cadence should be talking, he's saying nothing. He's just pushing around food on his plate. And Arthur, your father does not look impressed. Does anybody want to speak up first, or should I continue?
Oh.
So, Razz is stabbing food on her plate with a fork, and it's the loudest sound in the room currently. After a few moments of silence, the king speaks up. Cadence, are you going to explain where you've been? I keep telling you, I wasn't anywhere. I just left and kept walking, and I eventually teleported, and then I walked some more and teleported again. Wherever I was, I don't care. I just didn't want to be here. And it took you 10 years to come back? It wasn't 10 years. You're not listening. It wasn't 10 years. Whatever it was for you, it wasn't for me. How do you explain your disappearance? The way that you up and vanished as if you were a ghost. I don't know, okay? I'm not my little brother. And he gestures to you, Cayde, you Arthur, as he seems exasperated already, ignoring his half plate of food that he seems particularly disinterested in. I can't just disappear at will. It's not my job prerequisite. If anything, I make other people and other things disappear. I don't know, okay? You want me to explain? I can, but it's not gonna make any sense to any of you.
Not gonna even try.
He looks over at you, Arthur, and his expression is, for once in a very long time, he looks genuinely confused. The last time you remember him looking like this was a week before he did. I I can explain it. I don't want to be called crazy again or locked up or experimented again. Okay? E- Experimented? The king looks not flabbergasted, but struck with anger and not towards his son for this point in time. What do you mean? Did someone hurt you while you were away? I was fighting for my life half the time. Of course, someone hurt me. But I'm in my 20s. I can handle it. He pauses in the middle of trying to get his head around visibly the in his 20s. You should be almost 30. What do you mean you're 20s? I What do you mean 30s? I told you I haven't been gone for 10 years. Wait, and he looks around at everybody, seeming to finally register faces. Is that why you all look so much older?
Give a nod.
Cadence kind of takes a moment to register that more time passed than he expected. More time passed than he wanted it. More time than it should have. I I don't know. I never really looked back. I just I walked and I talked to people and I met a couple of people that were kind of just ordinary, everyday people getting their side of the story, learning what was going on outside of these pearly fucking gates. Call them, okay? I don't wasn't 10 years for me. I took keen awareness of the days ahead. And he looks back at you, Arthur, and he looks scared. How old are you right now?
18? No, 19.
You're 18 currently.
Okay, that's right.
And his eyes widen. I 18 doesn't and he looks down at his plate as if maybe his food might have the well, how old are you supposed to, if not 30 almost? As the king seems wary of believing this, but trying to understand. Yes, I know this is a bit tough to come back and hear it's been 10 years, as the queen speaks up. But if you say it hasn't been 10 years, where could you have possibly gone that time passed differently? I I don't know. Tsubasa, roll again for me. Couldn't tell you, I'm I'm only 24. It's barely been 6 years for me. If that, and
So
you're going to call me insane.
so you're not exactly sure yourself.
No, I think the weirdest thing that ever happened while I was out and about, this this woman I was talking to years ago, right when I started to leave. But she was just plain. That was the weirdest thing about her. She just was pretty normal,
Nothing
and she
more.
talked with me.
She's plain, but important enough to make comment about it.
Yeah, well, everyone has a sense of style. Everyone has a sense of carrying themselves. She was just another woman, I guess. But the way that she spoke is as if she'd been around for forever. But she looked barely older than you, Dad. You now, at least. Roll one more time for me, Tsubasa. It's at this point, Tsubasa, that you can enter the room.
Doesn't feel appropriate for him to just burst in anymore, but you know what? Momentum kept him going. But the doors sound like someone does not face plant, but they definitely didn't slow down quickly enough. Before they swing open with Tsubasa just shouting out, Arthur, I need to. And then noticing everyone else in the room. Um, this is a bad time.
You're being stared at, but not because you interrupted a family dinner, but because Cadence is staring directly at you. The others seem normal with your odd approach.
His mom does it often enough. It's just like, oh, yep, there we go.
Does anybody else respond to basically Arthur being called out from the doorway?
I should probably put Tsubasa's token down, huh?
Hmm?
I, I assume this is something very important you would like to talk to me about.
Yeah, but probably not here right now. Tsubasa at this point is staring back at Cadence, trying really hard to figure out why he's getting stared at. Can I roll insight?
You can.
23.
This is not the look of nobility or royalty staring at you because you have done something that aggravates them, even though you have never met Caden. And yes, even with what you told me, which does make a good point, you have never met Caden. You were too young at the time.
Okay.
And he disappeared before you could basically
Meet
gain
him.
consciousness as a child, essentially.
Before I could remember anything at all.
Yeah. He disappeared a while ago, and he's back. Because this is the look of somebody who has met you before and doesn't know how they feel about you. Because it's the look you've seen before on nobility that has met your mother and has the same look.
It's He does squint for a moment before, like, standing up, trying to recompose himself after that.
Uh,
And
uh,
just, are you okay? Or...
And Cadence looks away, his eyes shrouded by his hood again. Arthur, you were trying to say something?
yeah, he was gonna stand up and say, I guess introductions are in order. Tsubasa, this is my brother, Cadence. Cadence, this is another one of my friends, Tsubasa.
Tsubasa does start crossing the room to not be shouting across an entire dining hall.
And without looking up, Cadence just kind of half whispers, half grumbles. Yeah, I know.
Cadence, wait, you were the one who was talking to my sister.
And then it's just like, shh, 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 shit. From Cadence as he's like reaching out with that expression, why did you say that? And just from the king goes, you had all the free time in the world. Aw.
Oh no.
You had all the free time in the world to visit the Hidaka family estate, but not to come home. Man, that was like months ago. Or something. I don't know.
Oh, to be
At
fair,
least
the
a year
last...
ago.
At least, yeah, that was the last time I really was able to talk to Amy about that.
And you spoke to the youngest. Pray tell why. Uh, that is not something I can say in front of us. She's like, not making your case any better, Cadence. But let's it go for now.
Um,
And he looks over at you, Tsubasa. This time that look gone, as if it was never there in the first. Tsubasa, yeah?
yeah.
You said you had news for my brother.
Yeah, I kind of need to talk to him alone about it.
And he looks at you, Arthur, with that expression that can only mean, do you want to?
How urgent is this, Tsubasa?
I mean... um... hmm.
Sounds like it's pretty urgent.
Yeah, a little urgent.
What's it got to do with?
Stuff.
Ooh, so ominous. It's fine. I'm stuck here for the next few hours, probably.
I guess I can step away for as much time as needed.
It hopefully shouldn't take too long.
Excuse me. Just go on.
Tsubasa just starts heading back out the hall. Ah, I missed the token. But yeah. He waits until Arthur steps out into the hallway with him, making sure the door is shut behind them, glancing around the entire hallway, and should I roll perception to see if he sees anyone nearby?
Your passive perception is just fine. There's nobody in the halls at this time of day. Though odd, you kind of get the gist from looking back at the door you accidentally slammed into saying "Do not disturb."
Tsubasa does look at that sign. It's just like, how did I miss that? Anyways, that's not important. Um, Arthur, there's people after Lex. Like, can't sugarcoat it. There's people after him.
Okay. Do you know for what reason?
I think it has something to do with Leviathan. There was... You remember how Aster called you asking, trying to get, Lex to duel him, yeah?
Yes.
Something happened during the duel. They were fucking idiots. Both of them, they actually went all out. But after Aster was knocked down, the doctor wasn't actually a doctor. And he said that they have to get Lex angry. They were trying to get Lex angry. Like during the knighting ceremony.
Right. Do you have a description of this person?
That's the thing. He wore the doctor's face and then he wore his own face. This fucking bastard. Sorry.
You say that, and that makes me think you know him.
And
But
Tsubasa does visibly hesitate at that.
But it seems like that's a touchy subject right now, so I won't pry for the moment.
Just know that he's the reason I'm like this.
Okay.
But it's not just him. He's working for the boss man, he said, and I don't know what will happen if they do manage to get Lex angry, but I know it's not going to be good for anyone involved. It might be something like that dream that we had.
I wonder if something connected, but okay. Did he escape, or assuming?
None of us could have actually done anything to stop him. Not even the referee was able to keep him bound. He said he's going to be coming back in a week. It's the worst part. We have 1 week to figure out what to do before he comes back and he tries to do something else, whether we're here or not. I mean, good news, Lex isn't going to be going on the mission, I think?
Why?
Well, I said that they went all out, and he also summoned Leviathan.
So, are you telling me that his condition got worse after getting better?
We were at least able to heal him up, at the very least.
Okay.
But he and Aster are currently in the infirmary on bed rest.
Guess this is probably something I should inform my father about.
Yeah, probably. Just...
You want me to not talk about how you don't know him? This person?
Well, I mean, generally knowing the bad guy is kind of a bad thing.
I know the king. That's not really a big deal, but, you know. Not this king. I mean the
Well, I mean, fair, but no, this guy is bad, bad, actually bad. Like, no, it's not anything to do with the time stuff or whatever happened with King and all that.
Mm,
But we are going to have to tell your dad.
event. Yeah. Um, I'll see what I can do.
Am I even allowed in there right now, or?
I mean, uh, Tala and
You mean
Lance
Helia?
are. Helia, yes. Fuck. God damn it.
Yeah. But, after a moment, Tsubasa just stops, takes a deep breath.
Also, it seems like he's got weird when you got here. So
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. He looked at me the same way Vince and the others had looked at me after I'd become like this.
hmm.
And the way the nobility looks at me, and I feel like I should
Yes.
probably talk to him.
Yeah. Probably the both of us should.
Yeah, because, I mean, it seemed like there definitely was something happening when I ran into the door.
He's hesitant on revealing information because of how crazy it sounds, which is crazy because I feel like we've experienced some
I
insane
think we
things
are
ourselves.
probably the least likely people to call him crazy at this point.
Yeah.
Alright. If you think your dad will be fine with me knowing that guy, because Lance already knows too.
I would expect to be questioned if I tell him.
Be easier for you to.
As you
Oh, sorry.
as you both are discussing the outcomes, the potentialities of inevitably sharing this information with higher authority, both of you hear something colliding with wood, a heavy colliding,
Like
and
a
then
door.
the shout of "Didn't I just fucking tell you?" from Cadence.
Tsubasa goes to open the door. Just.
Cadence is standing up with his like literally it looks like he hit the fucking wood of the table right next to his plate, which seemed to have slightly cracked it as if from the pressure itself. And even from this distance, because you have such a high passive perception, you notice that there's a slight waver of energy around him. And he looks almost enraged, as if something was said to make him mad. And he is shouting,
Can I
raising
tell?
his voice.
Can I tell anything about the energy itself, or just I can tell that it's there?
You can tell that it's there with your passive.
Okay. Would I have to roll Arcana to discern anything specific?
Yes.
Unfortunate. Let's try anyways. 13.
You've never seen anything like this. And then you go, no, wait, I have. When your grandfather was talking about the boy in the hood, something similar happened when he started speaking. It was as if the world itself was resisting. And then you think, no, that's not the other time I had seen it. It was with King, trying to write down those notes.
It is.
Something about Cadence's magic, his presence, something about Cadence the world doesn't want. As he's getting angrier and angrier, and the source of that energy seems to get stronger and stronger, and that feeling gets stronger of this, the world does not want him.
Tsubasa suddenly, this time on purpose, goes and slams one of the doors open.
What was that? Why'd you do that?
Make a, how high is your strength?
How high is my strength? It is a +3.
Make a strength check for me. Not a high DC.
Just a base strength check?
Yep.
12.
It's not as forceful as it was the first time, but you do it with enough strength behind it that it kind of creaks at first and then scrapes across the floor. And Cadence, who was in the middle of an angry rant about, I just told you, it hasn't been 10 years, I don't know what you're getting on about! And he flinches, seemingly burning out of a trance of some kind, and looks at you with that same look again.
This time, Tsubasa smiles, like that kind of smile of, whoops, as he's just like, sorry, didn't realize how much weight I was putting on the door. But after a moment, he does look back at Arthur and just goes, we have to talk to Cadence later.
Why?
You
Any indicator. Can be any indicator.
Yeah, no, he's just like... actually, can you say what you were saying one more time?
Just wants an indicator.
Yeah. Just... You remember when I wrote those notes about King and magic? That was happening. But with Cadence.
Okay, and with that, what he will do, it's kind of like coming speed walk to Cadence. And then, hey, you know what? I think maybe we should have some one-on-one time as brothers. It's been a while. We should probably catch up.
Sure. You're being a little weird.
I am weird.
Yeah, fair enough. You have to ask Dad about that one. He's the one keeping me here.
Just looks at his dad.
Yeah, even Tsubasa's doing like the pleading eyes in the background, just like, would you?
And King, it's the first time he's looked at King Pendraco since the moment he's heard all of this happen, and even the shouting didn't sway him. And he just, all right. You'll have to answer your mother's questions and her worries later. Go spend time with your brother and his friends. And just makes the shooing motion for everyone but the queen to leave. Which Razz, just
Skitters.
Away.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa does wait until everyone is gone, everyone is out, like they're all out of the dining room before he would stop and to actually turn to get a good look at Cadence. But first, everyone has to skitter.
You're coming with me. Just pose them on.
Whoa. And he's not a very strong guy. He's a lot like you with being dexterous, but once he's caught, he's basically a fish in a trap.
It's like when you hold an alligator's mouth shut.
It's just, oh, you got me. Like,
Is his bodyguard following him?
yes.
He like I'd really appreciate if we could have a private moment, please.
Ray frowns, but ultimately does take a step back. He doesn't seem fully intent on leaving just yet, so he'll probably be at a healthy distance, but he is doing his job.
Thank you. I promise I'll give it back to him. I mean the other way
And then
around.
just the immediate, hey, I'm not a thing.
That's why I said him.
Just the sigh of whatever.
Yeah. Just let me know once Cadence gets dragged outside.
As far as everyone else is concerned, the last people out of the door are Arthur and Cadence.
Yeah, no, once they're all in the hallway, Tsubasa is going to stop abruptly and turn around to get a good look at Cadence. Out of curiosity, how tall is Cadence?
Same height as Arthur.
I forgot how tall Arthur is.
5'10".
Okay, so he's fucking eye level with Cadence then.
I think Arthur might be slightly shorter. Because I think it was like 5'8" or 5'9".
I believe 5'9". But that
Yeah,
was
because
he was 16, so he might have gotten taller, like an inch.
so yeah, they're probably the same height now. Because Cadence is 5'10".
Yeah, but Tsubasa is eye level with Cadence, so he turns around and just stops and stares back at Cadence after a moment, and just, you know me, don't you?
Yeah, you're part of the Hidaka family.
Yeah, but no, I'm. Because the look that he's getting from Cadence is like the same that he had gotten from Vince, Jonah, and Harley, yeah? Or was it
Correct.
specific? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, it's just like, no, you know me. I know that look you're giving me. That's the same look my friends gave me after everything that had happened.
Well, I don't know your friends, so you'll have to explain.
Vincent and Jonah and Harley, my friends from Traverse Town, they gave me the same look after, and he just gestures to his horns and the scales and whatnot.
Cadence doesn't say anything.
It's just fucking stare contest, I guess.
No, because he pulls his hood over his face and just ignores you.
There's been something good going on around you, isn't there?
Other than the fact that apparently I've been gone for 10 years, yeah.
Something that makes it seem like you're crazy.
Trust me, right now, we probably won't think you're crazy.
We've seen some shit since I started school.
That is definitely one way of putting it. We know there is something up. So, can you at least try to explain it?
He looks at Arthur for a moment, seemingly concerned, even though his face is mostly hidden. The way that the curve of his mouth falls, it's almost as if he's worried that he might say something that could upset his little brother.
I'll tell me mine if you tell me yours. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
And he sighs, kind of wrenching his hand away from you and tugging on the sleeve of his shirt, because it is a shirt, as you realize it. It's not anything heavy. It's not anything particularly like. It looks like he fashioned armor out of everyday material. So it could be easily destroyed if anybody spotted him and he had anything over his shoulders in terms of bounties or wanted posters or something like that. And he sighs. Listen, you sure I'm not going to be sounding crazy?
To be fair, we've met people who don't know who the King of the Glooms is, so...
Arthur will show him that the black band that he got, like, that's not normal.
And he steps back, physically. Dude, what the fuck?
Wait, when did that happen again?
When we were in fucking
DGS
Sunset.
World.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, it was with the funky stuff and the Gloom dimension. Yeah?
Do you say that out loud?
No, I'm not saying that out loud. That was
Lance.
Cherry, it was from doing stuff with Lex in the Dark Realm.
Yeah.
Heartless
Lance
Lex.
does kind of like roll down one of his left.
Yeah,
glove.
that's why that's why I was trying to figure out. I couldn't remember when the band had showed up. Like, that was out of character question.
I love bands.
Anyways.
To be fair, wasn't that an out of character comment of it was on that world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the whole conversation that took place of me figuring out where Arthur got the band, that was all out of character. Or at least I was out of character.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
And Lance decided to show off the marking he got from being stupid.
Tsubasa's just sighing at that, just...
We're matching. Twinsies.
That's not a good thing.
So I'm not gonna think you're crazy for whatever you think you have.
None of us are going to think you're
yeah.
crazy. We've already seen some wild stuff.
All of you notice that after the King of the Glooms has been mentioned, he looks confused again.
Fucking Spider-Man points. You don't know who that is, do you?
Should I?
That's the thing. You should, or at least that's what we know should be. But something's not right.
Yeah, there's no King of the Gloom. There's a King of the Light. I know that.
A King of the Light?
You know, that was the
Yeah.
thing before.
I mean, that fits with your theory, Sue, doesn't it?
It does. It actually does. Then that means that the Queen... Was it a...
Hypothetically speaking, doesn't that mean Cadence is from a different version of reality, essentially?
That's why everything was rippling around him.
I mean,
That's what I saw. When you were getting mad, it was like the universe was trying to tell you no. Or reality or something like that. It's not the first time I've seen it either.
Yeah, that's nothing new. Just with a roll of the eyes that you can feel even with his face being hidden.
There's even the book that changes when the timeline is changed.
The huh?
The book.
We found 2 books specifically. One that has what we know about the King of the Glooms and the Queen of, and the White Queen and all that stuff. But there's another book that has the roles reversed.
Well,
Like
there's
what
also
you
a
know it
Soulless.
as.
Gestures to Arthur, you were saying?
There was also the Book of the Soulless. That was the one that changed. I believe that was, yeah.
There was a book of the Soulless that changed?
Yeah, the one that changed, that we couldn't read again because it was changing.
Oh, yeah. That one was just weird. But yeah, no, we're probably going to be one of the last people to tell you that you're crazy with this, with whatever's happened to you. Be kind of hypocritical if we did.
It's only been 4 years. He says that with such a hesitancy that it's not the words that you doubt, it's his belief in them after seeing everything that's happened.
You've been gone for only 4 years, but people think you've been missing here for 10. And you don't know who the King of the Glooms is, sort of like how Marina didn't, after spending so much time in the grid.
Didn't Mr. Weirdo Wizard say she'd been in there for over 10 years?
Yeah,
So whatever happened?
it happened within the last 10 years. Or at the very least, 10 years ago.
There's also Lex, which he knows things about a place that we don't know much about. That's seemingly connected.
Speaking of, is he also as old as you now?
He's a little younger than me.
Yeah, but the 3 of us are all about 18, aren't we?
Ugh, that's trippy. Is he still a ball of rage?
Lex?
No.
Huh?
Lex
What?
being a ball of rage? What?
Arthur, you hear a kind of distant cackling in the back of your head. Just a those were the days.
Oh boy. This is
Yeah.
information.
Tsubasa, meanwhile, is just like, no, he's not. That's kind of the thing that we want to prevent right now.
Well,
Oh, good luck.
regardless, I don't know if we can just stop that from happening. It's gonna happen at some point or another.
We can at least stop it from happening in the next week.
Yes,
Are you telling me he doesn't get angry at everybody who crosses his path?
No.
This one.
I don't think I've ever seen him angry.
No, we saw him angry at the knighting ceremony. I remember that.
Did Keynes hear that? Not this one.
What?
He doesn't seem to have a reaction.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Lex hardly, if ever, gets actually angry about something.
Huh. See, before I left, that kid still had anger issues.
Tsubasa is slowly getting the Ben Affleck smoking meme expression of, why couldn't this have been simpler?
He was only like 8. I think I left right before a mission or something.
What sort of mission?
Arthur, you do remember at least this. He left 2 weeks prior to a mission being given to an 8-year-old Lex into the Dark Realm.
Vague memory.
Helia briefly looks like she wants to throttle someone.
Throttle who?
Whoever sent an 8-year-old into the Dark Realm.
Helia has very strong feelings about children being given missions, and is just
Yeah.
like seething quietly in the background.
But vibrating intensely. And you just hear Razz go, "It's okay, I'm gonna kill him."
Tsubasa's tail just reaches over and wraps around Razz's wrist, just like, no.
But they hurt our boy Lex! They hurt our boy Lex! Can't just say not to do anything.
For right now, just plan out what you're going to do to them next. I don't know, steal their left shoes.
That's a good idea.
Fill their socks
And she
with
thinks
whipped
about it for a
cream.
little bit. And she just thinks about it for a little bit.
Tsubasa just stands there, watches her for a moment, is just, okay, you know what? This works. Turns back. The thing, pausing for a moment, the thing I don't get is the times that you and Marina remember don't line up.
Well, what does she remember?
Out of character, it was multiple decades, yeah?
For Marina?
Yeah. Wasn't it multiple decades? That she remembered?
She was in the grid for 10 years, which was spanning multiple decades outside.
Okay, yeah.
Because time runs funny in the grid, we established that.
Marina had spent 10 years in the grid, but the time in the grid moves differently from the time out here. It's faster. But you were gone for 10 years out here and only remember 4?
No, I'm only turning like 25.
So whatever's going on affects the way has also affected how people exist in time itself or something? Or how time runs for certain people?
Do you think it could have anything to do with that guy that we found in the gardens? The guy that kind of like...
No, he was... What did he call himself?
Man sex?
No.
I hate it.
Me over here I'm about to give an actual answer. Arthur, fuck you.
Cayde!
It's so funny. I was there.
But no, Tsubasa does just remember, just like, you mean Zimnus?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Please mean Zimnus.
Oh yeah, that guy.
So you know him.
Kinda, yeah. He was a little weird when I talked to him.
Yeah, his time's a little wonky.
Out of curiosity.
Well, he's glitchy and flickers in and out of existence or something.
Yeah.
Which could make sense considering how much is going wrong with reality and time itself.
Let's also not forget that there's been supposedly multiple runs of this world.
Fucking
Don't
what?
make me think about that, Arthur. I don't want to think about it.
We had a collective dream, and...
Are you sure you didn't take acid together? I did that once when I was younger. It sucked.
If I took acid, both Papa would actually be the one to kill me, not Okasama.
Well, I mean... Helia puffs up her cheeks, thinking for a second. I mean, unless you know anyone named Apollo, I don't know. I can't say one way or the other.
This is why we said whatever you were gonna say wasn't gonna sound great.
You mean the previous king?
What?
What?
Hold up. We're talking about Apollo. The guy who was running around with us.
On the train.
And I had to chase after because he decided to just go.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, the previous king's name was Apollo. He stepped down to let the Pendraco legacy start.
How long ago?
In Dad's time, when he was still an adventurer, I think.
I'm gonna
Him
roll
and
history.
Mom, actually.
I'm gonna roll history to see what Tsubasa would remember about the time period before the current king was around. Can I do
Okay,
that?
all of you can.
All right.
History.
Fucking nat 20. 23.
Come on, Orange Jesus, don't fail me today.
Don't fail her. Don't fail you like it failed Jackie.
Listen, that nat 20 was probably my one thing for the next week or month or so.
Those rolls last night were the universe looking at Jackie and go, be sensible.
Surprisingly, Arthur's the only one who thinks this is insane.
What?
Or at least can't remember what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, I will say this, Arthur, you were too young to remember anything about Apollo being told to you.
That's fair.
However, the rest of you, this does check out. Not because what he's saying is completely credible from Cadence's point of view. Truth of the matter from what you remember is that, much like Cadence, the last king disappeared one day and never was found. And the Pendraco legacy started 5 years after the last king's disappearance.
Yeah. Do I get anything special with the nat 20? Probably not, but
With a nat 20, you recall some instances of your father when you were very, very young, talking to a man with brown hair, light brown skin, and brown eyes, and wearing normal, casual clothes. Not by any means just plain, but they were definitely regal on the casual side. And you remember the kindest smile you've ever seen someone wear, and you knew your own family. You think that man was once called Apollo, but you were so young. It's like a vague, foggy memory of this man.
But I'm remembering Apollo both going missing, but also talking with my father.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa suddenly looks very confused. Just, wait, hold on. Didn't...
I will say, this memory of yours of him going missing, of him talking to your dad, was when you were young enough to where this is one of your first memories of seeing that warm and feeling that warm smile.
But that would have...
But it was still long after he was supposed to have disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Tsubasa does visibly look confused. It's just like... The previous king just disappeared, didn't he?
What? No.
No.
He stepped down.
Yeah, he steps down and then there's nothing on him anywhere. He just, poof, gone.
But... he was talking to my dad at one point?
Maybe he got really good at hiding?
I don't know.
This is out of character, but yeah, he decided to go Metro Man on your asses.
Thanks, sweetie.
But
Continue.
out of character, even in a casual regal thing, that would have been something that, if he had already been stepped down, he wouldn't have been wearing anything really regal, yeah?
Unless
Well,
that's
not
just his
necessarily.
style at that point.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm double checking.
Back
Well,
when
you can
you were
also.
hold on. Back when you were younger, Tsubasa, any noble family, as long as they were not disgraced, still wear their noble regalia.
Okay.
So stepping down is not a form of disgrace. It is a form of, stepping down.
Yeah.
A form of letting go of the crown and title. If anything, he would still be recognized as nobility.
So still a noble, just not royalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe I should talk to my dad about that.
I mean, if you remember someone like him or him, maybe talking to your dad, it might be a good idea.
Because I remember it. I was really little. But I remembered Papa talking to a man that felt really warm. But he was wearing, he had on the right style of clothes, I guess. But I think that's Apollo.
I mean, you can ask. The worst he says is either I don't remember or it wasn't. Either way, we learn something.
That is true. And Tsubasa just sort of pulls out his phone, it's just like, should I try?
Do you think he's going to answer you right this second?
It's a 50-50 shot. Tsubasa is going to take a moment and send a text off to his dad. It's just like, hey, do you have a moment to call? I want to ask you a question.
You get the automated response of, sorry, I'm busy. I cannot come to the phone right now. Please leave a message or a text message and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
Alright, so it's going to be a bit.
You can automate messages?
Yes,
you can automate text messages.
Yeah, out of character, you definitely can. Tsubasa in character is like, yeah, I'm not teaching you.
Ah.
I know what sort of chaos you would cause with that knowledge, both you and Razz.
I would never.
Yes, you would.
God's honor.
You would.
I would be nothing but innocent.
But yeah, no. Something really is wrong. There's someone messing with things. Hey, Cadence.
Yeah?
Do you know anyone named Lath?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, well that's one thing off the board then.
By the way, Cadence, I think it's pretty clear that Dad knows nothing about this.
Yep, I figured. One more thing to keep from him, I guess. As much like you guys, he rolls up the sleeve on his left arm, and there's a spiraling crystalline fracturing marking of light.
With my experience with Dark and Light, can I get a slightly better understanding of this?
Because you are specifically a paladin, you don't need to roll for this.
Okay.
You know that sometimes when people overuse their matching aptitude, like for some who use fire too often, they'll have burns that don't burn, but still scar their visage. But the same way with light, light is basically a unbound prism. And when it is caught in the wrong area for too long or for a powerful enough spell, it breaks and causes pain briefly, but leaves a scar, basically telling everyone who sees it that you are a user of the light. And this is exactly what happened to Cayde.
We really are brothers, aren't we?
Apparent fuckingly.
What is that supposed to mean?
Same brand of dumbassery.
What did you do this time?
This time?
I have a track record. You know my track record.
Right? Yeah, I've seen about half of it. Oh, jeez. Tsubasa just so slowly sinks into a crouching position on the ground, his face in his hands. It's just like, why are my friends all idiots? Why does this keep happening?
Hey, I may be stupid, but I'm not an idiot.
One of them is you. You are the reason why we had the Soulless staring at us at the grid.
Yeah, you got me there.
It's. I did not mean for there to be that much vitriol in that you.
You.
Lance just has the kicked puppy look.
Just don't do something else that could get you hurt again, please, Lance. I don't think I could handle more of my friends getting hurt.
Well, I think that's one of the promises I cannot keep if I make one.
I'm going to steal your kneecaps.
You can certainly try.
Hey, Helia, do you want to help?
No, that's not fair. 2 against 1.
Just sticks his tongue out at Lance.
Nah, you too.
I feel like Cayde tried to say something, but I couldn't hear him over Nia.
Oh, I just said street rules, man.
Helia nodding soundly.
Tsubasa, after a moment, just turns to look at Cadence with the expression of, you see the things I have to deal with?
As you turn to face him, as this is a conversation that's happening in front of him, even though you can't see his eyes, the frown or scowl that he was wearing has softened into a smile.
Aww.
Aww.
Everyone, just a moment of, oh, that's so cute. Ah, okay, how's it going to?
Aster's not legally allowed to.
It's the brother thing. If you mention it, it disappears.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Tsubasa's not going to say anything. He just, after a moment, he can't help but smile too. Just like, well, at least someone is feeling better. He doesn't actually say that. He just smiles up at Cadence after a moment. Because the boy is still crouched on the ground.
You all hear him clear his throat, just, so what was the point of bringing me out here exactly?
keep you from glitching out of reality, I think. She says, looking at Tsubasa like, question mark?
Kind of, yeah, because when you were getting really angry in there, it was getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know what it was over exactly, but it seemed like whatever you were getting mad about was trying to get you pushed back out, I guess? That's just a hypothetical, a theory. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out.
Okay, so what do you want to do about it? Because I'm going to get angry again. What happens then?
Right. There's not much we can do right now at the moment.
I'm still trying
Try to keep an eye on yourself, I guess, and I don't know, maybe we can see what else is different between what you remember and what we remember.
Because you say that Apollo had stepped down, but from what from what everyone knows, he just disappeared. And
out of character, did Ren not say that we remembered him stepping down, but after he stepped down, he just vanished?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so he disappeared.
I'm here for you, Cherry.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Just so he's just like, you. Apollo was still around for you, yeah? Before you left?
For a little while, yeah.
How long?
About a year before I heard about him stepping down.
Do you remember how long it took for the Pendracos to take power, I guess? Take their position?
Nope. Because, okay, so this is going to sound a little weird. Well, maybe not to you guys. But I remember being instated as prince before I left. But he was already in the process of stepping down and handing over the crown to Dad.
So it was already happening. Because out of character, we're remembering that it was 5 years before the king took the crown.
Correct.
What it sounded like is he was already prince before, a little before, during the process of being stepping down. Was that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't line up with what we know, because Apollo stepped down, and then there were 5 years before King Pendraco became king. Papa, why do you have to be busy right now?
In between those 5 years.
Because I don't think it takes 5 years for a transition of power to happen like that.
I mean, it might.
No, look. I know nobles like the paperwork and the red tape and everything, but no, if it was already in the process of being put through. Oh, I can't remember what all I've read about this stuff. If it was already in the process of being put through, it wouldn't have taken 5 years for there to actually be a new king crowned, especially if the former king was directly passing the crown off.
Yeah, that's 5 years without a king.
That wouldn't happen, especially not for a kingdom like this.
Arthur.
And you say you've only been gone 4 years.
Arthur.
Yeah.
You remember a kind of odd memory. It is yours, it is from your perspective. But as they're talking and you're searching anything that you might know, something kind of registers. There was a couple, and there's it's not panic, but it's a sort of anxious feeling. It's kind of like when you hit a kid and know that their parents are right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's that feeling of, oh god, how am I going to explain it to his parents? And then you go, who? Whose? Mine? And it crosses your expression briefly. You're not the type to show your confusion immediately unless it gets bad enough to make you panic. So it flashes across your face for an instant. And then you start thinking a little bit more. Parents. Not mine, not anybody else's. Whose? And you try to remember a face. But it hurts to think about. It's like a cardboard cutout of a person that's supposed to be there in your memory. Because you remember meeting them. You remember them being in your life. In Lex's life. You remember a woman with bright red hair that fades into orange. You remember a man shorter than... You remember a man that is shorter than her by a good 5, maybe 6 inches. But I think he had dark black hair, the same color as Lex's dominant hair color. And you would think one of them had green eyes and the other brown. That doesn't make any sense. Because Lex is... And then you go, no, they explained this to me when we were kids. He has the recessive genes. That's why he got so terribly bad at keeping his emotions hidden despite being a nobody. And then it makes you more confused. It's like, who am I remembering? What were their names? And all the rest of you notice that he's starting to have a nose.
Arthur? Tsubasa's, as soon as he sees this nosebleed happening, Tsubasa's standing back up and it's just like, what? Hold on, why are we...
I think he's trying really hard that he's not really fucking noticing too much.
After a moment, Tsubasa pulls out like a handkerchief or Kleenex or something like that and just slowly holds it up to Arthur's nosebleed.
Arthur.
Yeah.
As the rest of them are starting to panic, you don't notice. You don't notice them. You're too busy thinking, too busy remembering. And, of course, it's too much right now, so you instinctively pull back, kind of like same way that when you get too close to the open stovetop on an electric stove,
Mm-hmm.
you just instinctively pull back unless you force yourself further. And you just wince, and you finally notice that there's a handkerchief in front of you. And you do taste your own blood on your lips.
Arthur?
What happened?
I don't know, you started bleeding.
That was a memory, really hazy.
Was there something wrong with it, or just hazy?
I'm not exactly sure. It's like... It's like I'm almost remembering two people, but not completely.
It's really fuzzy, yeah?
Yeah, it hurt my brain.
Obviously.
Looks like it hurt more than your brain.
Is Tsubasa still the one holding the handkerchief up to the nosebleed? Or does Arthur take over at any point?
Sure.
Yeah. No, you don't have to. I'm just asking, does he take over at any point? Or does Tsubasa just get stand there like that?
You know what? He's too hazy for it.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa. Okay, yeah, just Tsubasa's still just standing there holding it, just like, okay, so why would a memory, unless it was like the time I wrote down the notes?
Yeah, that time I got fucked up.
Yeah, please don't do that again. It already hurts me enough. I can't imagine what it was like for you.
So that thing you were talking about,
Which thing? We've been talking about a lot.
the like the memory thing.
Yeah, no, it's just trying to figure out about, because it's if the memory hurts you, it has to be like the time when King told us the secret.
A memory that's been altered because of what's been happening.
So it's more than.
No.
Out of character, I think the word some of you are looking for is a memory the universe doesn't want you to remember.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just being a weird about it.
Yeah, they're trying not to
All
say
right.
it outright, considering how the older brother is standing right there, and Tsubasa already has the feeling of, if I say that we tried to tell the universe itself no.
I feel like Cadence Pendraco would go, hell yeah.
Well, the question is, does Cadence say or do anything while this is happening?
He's not very quiet about it, but his little brother is a little too hazy right now to probably notice what he's doing until he's already picked up.
Oh.
Scooped.
He might be an absent older brother, but when he's back, he is still the older brother. He's got to take care of the kid.
Cares so much.
So you get picked up, Arthur, and basically swept off your feet and goes, all right, time to go to the infirmary room. Or maybe you like to go back to your boyfriend.
Well, he's in the infirmary too.
Oh, great. Both of you, really, come on.
You can blame our friend for that. They decided to go all out in a duel.
Against the guy who can dual wield? And Arthur, that's news to you.
Yeah, we just found that out today. Right before we found out that Aster knows Quake and is willing to use his fists to cast it. And his face
They
to
make
catch
dumb
it.
decisions.
My friends are idiots.
What was that, Arthur?
All of my friends are idiots.
Didn't he also use something that Lex is weak to?
Yes. I'm going to rattle a brain cell into Aster's head.
Not if I do it first.
Teamwork?
Okay.
Makes the dream work, baby. Anyway, let's go. Cadence in character for the thing.
I figured.
And just carries his little brother off to the infirmary.
I guess now's a good time as any to go take care of what I need to. Unless, well, actually, what time is it in the day?
It's starting to become quite late. Not in the sense that you can't. It would probably be a different time, kind of like time zones for the worlds.
Well, I guess.
Road trip.
I wouldn't call. Okay, you know what? Fine, that works too. Helia, do you want to come, or do you just want to not deal with more bullshit?
I'm sorry. Tala completely zoned out for a hot second. What are we talking about now, out of character?
Cadence picked up Arthur, has taken him to the infirmary. Now it is somewhat late, and Tsubasa and Lance are about to. Tsubasa, Lance, and Razz too. I guess we're going to be going ahead and having her come along.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be heading off to find Jonah. And Tsubasa at this point is asking Helia, do you want to come with us, or do you want to have a time to not deal with bullshit?
Yeah, 3 of you seem
Exhausted?
capable enough. Healy was gonna say something out and then went, no, I can't say that.
Don't be a coward,
not
Helia,
true.
say it.
No, it's not that it's mean, it's that just straight up isn't true. Pick a different word.
What? And like what you said was true?
You're capable. Yes.
I would call us exhausted, but
You're capable. Just Tsubasa happens to be the only one of you with a brain cell, so...
Who needs brain cells anyway? They just...
it's fine. Jonah has more brain cells than I do.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
steal
let
some from
Razz
them.
go pick on their friend's boyfriend. Is that what he is? Am I remembering correctly?
More or less?
Okay, good. Cool. You kids have fun.
Alright. So we'll see you later, Helia.
Like the
Doodles.
same age as us.
What was that?
You're like the same age as us. Why are you calling us kids?
Because you
For
guys
giggles.
act like you don't have the brain cells of the 19-year-olds?
20. Somehow
Yeah,
worse.
Lance
Actually.
is 20. Old enough to drink.
Yeah, no, Lance goes 20, and Tsubasa just fucking full eye contact. Hold on. Full eye contact. Just that expression.
Yeah. Yes, Lance, you have the same age as me. Congratulations.
You go have fun resting, Helia. Make sure Aster and Lex don't try to get out of the infirmary before they are ready, I guess.
I think the infirmary people would stop them, but okay.
You'd say that. But we also know them.
True. True.
But yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Nothing I can think about.
I will take that as, okay, so with that, Tsubasa leads the others off to Traverse Town.
Yippee.
We're going on our trip in our favorite piece of
Yeah,
shit.
Zooming through the sky.
We're all gonna die!
So do you want to go to Traverse Town, Nick? Because I was
Tsubasa...
planning on having a bit of a cute moment in a
Oh.
moment here.
Let's go for the cute moment. I would not mind interrupting for a cute moment, because especially considering what's going to be happening afterwards.
Aster,
Yeah.
how do you escape your infirmary room?
Easy. He tells the nurse, I'm gonna go for a nap, and then covers himself up as much as he can, and then trades places with about 3 of the Heartless and just slips out with someone else's face.
And you go to Lex.
Yep, he immediately goes to Lex.
Yeah, alright.
The difficult part was ignoring people who tried to ask why he had an IV drip.
Good fucking grief. Anyway. You step inside, and though the main 3 doctors and nurses kind of give you a once-over, and definitely notice that you're not supposed to be here, they more or less just set you up with a new IV instead of letting you carry around the one that you have. Because that's gross and nasty, and they're not about that.
Yeah, I want everyone here to know I sent that message of like, Aster's probably like bothering Lex, by the way, before you guys talked about they better not be causing chaos in the hospital.
Unfortunately, Tsubasa knows Aster well enough, apparently.
And
But-
Aster, is
Yes.
Zippy with you?
Abso-fucking-lutely. He's I'm a Pact of the Chain warlock. That is my familiar. He is with me.
So the first thing you see passing by the main thoroughfare of actual doctors and nurses, as you realize that they're now on the defensive with all of each other, because how did somebody slip in that we didn't know about kind of energy. But they're still working together because they haven't tried to kill the kid yet. That kind of energy. And you see an odd face, because it's definitely Arthur on the couch hooked up to another IV drip. But it's also next to him in complete like D&D style black leathers and black shirt and pants and a hood covering his face is a person who Arthur is just not responding to, not out of hostility or malice, but just he might be asleep, or he might just not care that he...
A hand, a small little blackened hand, begins to slither out from Aster's shirt as he stares at these people, stares at Lex, and then slowly another one from the other side of his shirt, and Zippy kind of like just adjusts himself on top of Aster's head, stares at the people at the couch while Aster stares at Lex, and Zippy begins popping at them. Just like doing the popping noise with your mouth.
Popcat, yeah.
Yeah, popcatting them.
And just
Popcat.
and then just you'd be...
Depends on the day. Could be your mother. Who are you?
I severely doubt that. She's a hard to impersonate woman.
His name is Aster. He thinks he's clever.
Oh, this is the infamous Aster. Alright. Lex is over there and gestures towards the bed.
And Zippy crawls off of Aster. Continues to stare at Cadence and Popcats as Aster just goes up to the curtain, sneaks in as best he can, and just sits at the edge of the bed, doing the little emoji that I showed earlier. Just the staring.
And Lex kind of opens one eye in that sense of, can I help you?
How the fuck did you do that with the other Keyblade?
It's something I learned how to do.
Teach me.
Well, there's a problem with that one. For both of us.
Expand.
And he just smiles. We're both hooked up to IV drip, dumbass. Sorry.
To be fair, we hooked each other up to an IV drip.
I should be used to this, but stuff still makes me uneasy.
I'm an amalgam that was born out of an assault. Please don't say that you're used to this, because you sound more pitiful than me.
Oh, I'm kind of, I think, immune to being poisoned at this rate.
Out of necessity, biologically, or just repeated use?
There's a reason why I don't stray from Arthur very often.
You'll be alright.
I hope so. Because I heard him come in.
Uh-huh. It was also, best I can describe...
You mean Cadence? Yeah.
No, like, you see his hand moving, and, like, he's about to say something really mean, but it's like, is he in earshot? I don't know. When you say Cadence, Aster just goes, maybe.
That's what his heartbeat sounds like. And he sounds hesitant saying that.
Why are you hesitating?
Because I haven't told you about that before.
Do I have a heartbeat?
Well, yeah, everybody. Well, not everybody. Some people don't have one, but
Are
it's
they
usually because they're... Yeah. It's kind of complicated to explain, and he tries to sit up.
You sit your happy ass down, or I swear to God, I'm gonna go put my hands on you.
And he just kind of raises a brow of like, say that again, I dare you.
Aster, climbing onto the edge of the bed, sitting on the fucking corner, like literally sitting on the edge, full animal vibes. Sit your happy ass down. I'm gonna put my hands on you and keep you down. Unlike you, healing works on me properly.
Well, healing works on me just fine. So I don't know what's up with you, but I heal just fine. I just need sleep most of the time.
Then why are you awake?
Because
Cause?
and he glances away for a moment.
Aster looks exactly where he glances to. The fuck is over there? You keep looking over there.
No, it's just and he looks back at you, Aster. I'm just a little scared. People want to kill me these days, and not just because I'm friends with Arthur.
Alright. Lex, do you know how I was born?
Vaguely. You haven't really spoken about it.
He takes a moment, and for the first time, Aster's little, like, I could make this a silly joke thing. Aster kind of doesn't do that. Kind of gets a little serious. Carlos and Caesar. They were boyfriends. And Caesar was very much a troublemaker. He'd do stupid shit, get hurt, and then laugh it off. So whenever he was basically put on house arrest for a reason they didn't tell him, he grabbed his boyfriend and went out. They went down an alleyway. He got hit in the back of the head. He died. Heart and nobody split apart. Carlos followed suit. They split apart and they started to reform, but not the right way. Their hearts went to the wrong nobodies when they reformed. I have a brother, Hydra, born exactly like I was. I am Carlos's heart in Caesar's body. Hydra is Caesar's heart in Carlos's body. And as you know, when we first met, that kind of had a big identity issue. Caused me a lot of stress. Made me paranoid. But then someone told me the best advice I can give. Is it worthy of a fuck to give? It's not your life. It wasn't your death. Is it worthy of a fuck to give? So, Lex, it's your life. Do you give a fuck that people are trying to kill you? Or are you worried? Or do you give a fuck that by getting you, people around you are gonna get hurt?
No, that's part and parcel, I think. That's what having a friend is about. They get hurt with you, right?
It's part of having a friend, yes. It is the first part of having a friend. Well, second part. Kind of skip part one.
Part
Do you
one
know?
of having a friend?
Yes, part one of having a friend.
I don't know. The only friend that I had before you guys was Arthur.
Do you trust him?
Of course, with my life.
Do you trust him with his own life, though?
Well, yeah. He just does reckless shit all the time.
Then do not trust him with your life. Trust him with your aid. If he needs you, come. If he doesn't, have faith. Have trust.
And a little bit of pixie dust? What do you want me to say to that?
What do you want to say to it? Why do you have to have an answer to everything I say? Can't I just say shit?
No, because every time you say shit, it makes you sound insane. You're making me
I just
swear a lot.
explained to
I
you
don't
I'm
like
an
it.
amalgam of two different people, and I have a brother. What part of me feels sane?
You do. And he sits up, even though you are perching like a gargoyle on the edge of the bed.
He gets the sassy gay point. I'm warning you, without a word coming from Aster.
And he kind of scooches forward, even though that disrupts Toro a little bit. And just reaches out with the hand that's not hooked up to the IV drip and taps you over the heart. This is yours, not his. I can hear it. Every time you talk about him, it pauses.
I'm not mad at you.
Huh?
I'm not mad at you.
Of course not.
Aster is not breaking eye contact, and that serious face is still there. Like, the smile's kind of corner of his mouth smile, but he is kind of still staring. Just, I'm not mad at you. No one is. It's not your fault shit happened in your direction.
He rests a hand on your shoulder, as if avoiding getting anywhere close to where your heart rests. And he just rests his head against your opposite shoulder.
As he does, since he can tell heartbeats, and it is common that a heart rate will increase whenever there is a lie or anything told. Aster's heart didn't miss a fucking beat when he said he wasn't angry. You can ask any of them. We trust you. We know it's not your fault. Then it's our bad call to make.
Why would you trust a monster?
Because I'm a monster. But you tell me I'm not.
Because you aren't. You're
I'm proof
kind
that,
and funny and strong
but I'm
and a
proof
very
that there
sweet
are
person.
2 people dead. That they're not coming back. There are 2 sons missing from this world, mothers who will never see them again. Yes, I have a mom and dad, but it sticks with me. Caesar and Carlos are gone. I'm not a monster that took them, but I'm a monster of proof. But that doesn't change any of the words you've said. And he hugs him. Monsters aren't evil. Monsters aren't bad. It's okay to be a monster.
Aster?
Yep.
Never mind. And he just clings to you.
Alright.
This is a terrible scene to have Premonition playing during. Ugh, jeez.
An AMV of Riot started for me.
Aster is feeling a certain type of way about all this.
Oh yeah.
But, Tsubasa,
Yeah?
the 3, well, technically 2, who are going to see Jonah. Would you like to do that now?
I'm good to do it. I'm normal. I'm fine. I am ready.
None of us are normal. What are
Shut
you
the-
talking about?
Shut up. Just
No, I don't think I will.
I shan't. It's Christmas. But yeah, no, if everyone else is fine, because we are coming up onto 2 hours of recording.
I'm down to clown.
So we're all good?
Helia? Cayde?
Well,
Yeah.
they'd mostly just be listening. Unless we end up doing something afterwards. But yeah, it is just the 2 of us, so if we're ready, let's go.
I'm ready, Freddy.
So yeah, Tsubasa leads the way to Traverse Town and goes to start taking Lance to the old hideout he had shared with his other friends to see if he can find out where Jonah is.
So, the first thing you notice is that the hideout is empty,
Mm-hmm.
with a note that simply says in Jonah's handwriting, if you're seeing this, it means someone forgot to lock the door.
Not again.
And then underneath it, kind of stuck to it in pink glitter gel pen, which is Harley's signature.
Clearly.
You see note in
Okay, wait,
pretty
pause. You're fading in and out really badly.
Alright, I'll just pause the music.
Sorry. But yeah, the note in Hurley's signature pen.
It is in cursive in that kind of Barbie doll font.
Oh my god.
Like, that's how girly girl it is.
Tsubasa not even blinking twice at it.
It just says, look for us in the abandoned village. We're going spelunking, with a little sparkle next to it.
Well, I guess we're going to be going on a farther road trip. Yeah.
I love goose chases.
It's not a goose chase. I know where the village is. Come on, let's go.
All right.
It's not. It shouldn't be too far, and shouldn't be too difficult to find them. Yeah, we're going on
Well,
a
if
trip.
it's abandoned, just look for like the louder noises.
Or I could just call out to them.
That works too.
Jeez. I was hoping it'd be a little bit easier to find them, but I shouldn't be surprised with Jonah.
And you start to wander, kind of, at first in the direction of the truly abandoned area of Traverse Town, where it was attacked repeatedly by Heartless before the zone safety regiment was put into place by the safety laws and all of that. And then you realize, why would they go somewhere where they can't summon their keyblades? That's not where they're going. And you stop, and your heart sinks as you realize that the abandoned village doesn't mean the abandoned part of town, it means the town that got destroyed.
Oh.
Oh?
They didn't mean this way. There was a village that'd been around when we were younger, and well, I mean, it's kind of a little destroyed. We should be fine, though.
Well, it's long destroyed, right? So whatever could have destroyed it, there's nothing to worry about?
How long ago was it destroyed?
You remember it being destroyed the moment you woke up.
Yeah. No, Lance asks that, and he just gets the most nervous smile from Tsubasa. You know what? We probably don't have to worry about anything anyways, yeah.
What aren't you telling me?
It's fine, Lance. You'll probably find out once we actually get to find Jonah.
All right. What's it? If it's something you don't want me to hear, it's fine.
No, it's fine. I don't know what destroyed the town is the thing. But Jonah might.
Well, lead the way.
All right. Yeah, we're fine anyways. We've got this. I hope. And he turns and leads the way.
As you start walking to basically the edge of Traverse Town and where the Enchanted Dominion leaks into this world, it is dark and gloomy and easily attracts darkness. But there's no Heartless around, no Gloom, no Soulless, no Mindless. It is just dark and gloomy and cold. And it even sends a shiver up your spine as you realize that all of the broken down, waterlogged areas have been overgrown by vines and trees and decay. And there's only really one abandoned area left standing, and it's just a simple corner house. Kind of like a townhouse that was merged into two. And Harley and Jonah are in the distance in front of it, talking. And they're talking in low, hushed voices that you can't hear them quite yet.
Tsubasa does glance around the town, and Razz and Lance would both be able to notice that he's nowhere near as comfortable in this area as he would have been in Traverse Town or at the Academy. But after a moment of hesitation, he goes to approach Jonah and Harley. And I'd say probably at about right here, he would pause for a moment to see if they notice him.
You gonna move, Lance? Or are you gonna stay back?
Yeah, I'm gonna move.
As you get to basically the outer edge of where the light can actually touch you, and it's an odd sort of green, ominous light, and you don't know why, but it's probably because of the owner of the Enchanted Dominion kind of leaking through.
Yeah.
And it's kind of easy to tell when Jonah notices you because, much like every other normal person, he has a tail. And that is squaring his shoulders and kind of stretching a little bit. Going, yeah.
Hey guys, you got some time?
Yeah, what's up, Sudere? And he turns to face you with a hand in his pocket.
Tsubasa gives a sort of huffing snort at the nickname before he goes to actually step up closer into the light and just so long story short, I'd been doing a mission on a world for reasons, and Vince was there.
Ooh, reasons. Gotta love the ominous reason.
It's not really important to this. No, it's that Vince was there, Jonah.
Yep,
We
I know.
ran into a swarm, and Vince was the one to stop them. And, I mean, you had... Long story short, Vince told me that he... And you can see Tsubasa struggling for a moment before he swallows hard. And just, he told me that he had died that day.
Did he tell you the rest of the story? Because I don't have most of it.
Tsubasa shakes his head. No, he just... You know how he is. He dodged the parts that he didn't like, I guess.
Well, yeah, nobody likes to talk to the person who did it. And he just tilts his head a little bit, which I don't think he told you.
What?
Alright, looks like I gotta be the bearer of bad news again. Thanks a lot, Big Boo. Jeez. Alright. So, and he starts to walk forward kind of slowly. And just, so here's the gist of it, I suppose. You went fucking berserk. Don't know why, don't know how, couldn't care less. You went berserk. Vince went in to stop you with one of his katanas, his fake ones. And he told us to run because he knew something was wrong. We ran to get your parents because why wouldn't we? It's not like we have parents to run to anymore anyway. And me and Harles, we came back a little faster than your parents because we're nimble, small, or at least Harles is. And Harley looks kind of nervous when talking about this, and she's never one to be nervous, too gregarious and extroverted to really care about what people say or think about her. So her being nervous is telling. And Jonah continues. We saw you using his fake katana as a weapon, and you had pierced his chest. And he was laying on the ground. Only he got back up a few seconds later, and that was his new weapon, his keyblade. And I don't think he recognizes you anymore.
No, he doesn't. He said that his whole goal is to find me, but I mean, and with a shaky hand, he does gesture to himself, just
Yeah.
I don't remember anything, Jonah.
Well, yeah. You kind of passed out for a second, almost hit the ground, and then you just wandered off. As if you had something to do, even though we were on our way to the clock tower.
Was there anyone else, or was it really just us?
Jonah gestures to the entire abandoned village that has been burned and ruined and paid and left to rot. There used to be.
When Tsubasa speaks again, it is quiet and shaking, and I am not going to be doing that because I have already been told I can't be fucking heard. But when he does speak again, it's just, did I do this too?
You get no vocal response, but there is a stare that is apologetic from Jonah. And he rarely ever apologizes.
I don't know. Are you sure there wasn't anyone that looked like the guy I told you about? You remember that, yeah? I know nobody believed me about it, but you remember me talking about it, yeah?
I remember, so does Harles. We did research, but we found nothing. Not even a slight clue of who you could be talking about. Even now, there's just nothing.
He's still around, Jonah. I saw him today. You can ask them. And he gestures to Lance and Razz behind them. They actually saw, well, Lance did.
And Jonah, this is the first time you're seeing Jonah in a light that compliments and kind of becomes frightening for him. He looks like his eyes glow in the dark and cast a greenish gold glint across everything, like he's a dragon protecting its sword. And he just looks at you, Lance, with that kind of bored expression of, did you?
You're talking about the one that was wearing the doctor's face, right?
Yeah. He was
That's
wearing
weird.
he was wearing someone else's face, and he was going to try to do something to Aster and Lex, and Tsubasa stops for a moment, trying to take a deep breath, and if Lance approaches, nobody's going to stop him. And just... I need to fix this somehow. I can't let him do this again. I can't let myself do this again.
Wasn't really you.
It was enough of me.
Not for how Vince talked about it.
But he still doesn't think I'm myself again.
Well, yeah, you don't look like yourself. Remember, you were human before.
I know.
Just like the rest. Now one of you is dead, the other is whatever this is. No offense.
None taken. I'm kind of used to it at this point.
And then Harl speaks up and goes, I think you look like an angel.
An angel?
Yeah, it's kind of a broken halo, but you have angelic features. It's not like all angels are kind of, good. Some are mean. You don't have to be a good person to do good things.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that, Harls.
And she just beams at you, just the woo kind of expression.
I'm not... There has to be a way to save Vince.
Have you asked him? Have you actually asked him if he wants to be saved?
No, I want to at least know if there's a way I can.
Alright. If you say so, Sude. Don't tell me I told you so. Or was it... whatever. I'm too high for it. Anyway.
Wait, are you guys smoking out here?
Oh, not Harl's. Harl's quit a while ago.
You know the expression that Lance got earlier? Just that expression, but light. Just, alright.
Do you want to take a puff? Calm down a little bit?
The temptation is getting stronger with every passing moment. It hasn't even been a full 24 hours since Vince almost died a second time! I hate that I can say a second time!
Oh, he can't die like that.
No, it's, well, he sure as heck wasn't moving, and I couldn't exactly use any healing magic on him. I can't.
Yep.
I'm going to have to keep letting him think I'm not me anymore, too.
Don't you know a necromancer?
Do I? Do we? Who's the necromancer?
I don't know. I hear a necromancer went to your school, graduated a while ago.
Do you remember anything about them?
Nope, never met her.
But you know it's a girl.
Yep, in the papers.
I don't know if I've actually met a necromancer. But wait, doesn't Arthur know someone who's been doing things? Or not? Well, Arthur knows a lot of people, actually.
Oh yeah, the gullible prince. Yeah.
What do you mean gullible?
I'm just saying he's easily tricked. I'm pretty sure I could get him high once. Just for funs.
Jonah, don't get my friends high on...
At least not without, like, warning us.
I'd give warning, it's just that I don't think he'd understand that I have a pretty high dosage all the time.
Yeah, I know. Last time I had one, I couldn't fucking move for a week.
It wasn't a week, it was like a day, you thought it was a week.
It felt like a week!
That's between you and God at that point.
I'm ready to fight God at this point.
Gestures out the joint. Would you like to?
One hit. Just one.
I love how this is becoming a game of Jonah trying to get you to stop being stressed. Just like a puff in the trying times.
Tsubasa is stressed. It hasn't even been a full 24 hours since he first found out that Jonah's a revenant. And then, not Jonah, Vince is a revenant. Jonah's a pain in the ass.
You say that
That's
like
normal,
that's
though.
something.
Jonah's always a pain in the ass.
Tsubasa does take a puff and sit down, and he just sits down on the ground for a moment. Just pseudo fat flat fuck Friday moment.
Yeah.
And
then looks at Lance. And I know for a fact Razz wouldn't fucking hesitate of like, oh, you're cool now, and just zips over. Cool now. It's just like, I will tolerate you for just this instance because I gotta try what you're selling, and then goes, oh no.
and then realizes, oh, it's strong.
Oh, she's gonna be feeling it.
Yeah. Tsubasa is just so tired, so exhausted. He sits on the ground and is just... It hasn't been a full day yet, Jonah, and I've got one friend who is dead, but also not completely dead. I've got two friends that decided to duel each other all out.
Sincerely, only sincerely dead. And he's making a joke.
Fucking Cayde!
Mostly means slightly not dead.
Listen, it's still dead enough. It's just...
You gotta relax.
How can I relax when the universe itself is fucking around and we're finding out?
Well, then stop.
Stop what?
Stop giving a fuck. Do what you want. Why do you think nothing fucks with me?
Because it can't get a... Because the last time something tried to fuck with you, it did get a reaction, and then next thing we know, it's gone.
Well, yeah, because I don't fuck around.
I know I'm not going to let him hurt my friends again, Jonah. I just... Because Azarath actually is real. The others have seen him now. I'm not...
What a
anything
fucking
like
YA
him.
book title nerd motherfucker name is that? Jonah says.
I don't know. He's an asshole.
I bet he gave himself that name.
Probably. I would not be surprised. Fucking...
I so badly wanted to say something along the lines of, what book girly named this bitch?
The really thirsty ones.
Please.
I mean, it's better than Ringmaster.
That guy's a
Fucking
bitch too,
who?
by the way.
Oh, jeez, you all got fucked up. Damn. Take a chill pill for like half a second. Damn.
Mm,
Mind if I take a puff of that too?
It's been a long day,
Yep.
Jonah. Please.
Just hands it over to Lance.
I don't even know how to start with bringing someone back to life. I'm not a cleric. I'm not a paladin.
I'm sure there's blueprints somewhere. Don't take too deep of a hit, you're gonna choke.
Roll to see if he takes too deep of a hit. I want
Meanwhile,
this.
it looks like Lance is trying to like inhale deeply.
Tsubasa, after a moment, after let's say about 6-7 seconds, just reaches up, pulls it away from his mouth, and that's enough. Trust me, that's going to be enough.
Oh, I can't wait to see what monstrosity comes from this high. I'm getting my camera and sits up and like starts to walk towards where his bag is.
Jonah, don't post it anywhere.
No promises.
We're still students.
Yeah, at the academy, and you're all of age to do this.
Okay, fair. Also, how about we all roll a constitution check real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I
Also,
willingly fail?
Oh!
You can fail, yeah. And
For the fun of
Tsubasa
it.
is high off his ass. Again, apparently.
After about like half an hour, Lance and Razz is going to have a Tsubasa just sprawled out across their laps.
Yeah, Razz doesn't need to roll a constitution save on things like this because has been around it long enough from both her own experience and from Marilyn being her supplier. Best friend and also her supplier.
No,
Oh.
Tsubasa is the cuddly type of high.
I'm tempted to roll just to see what I get, but I also want to
Do
like
it.
willingly fail.
Just roll. See-
There goes my good roll.
when you're
We're
good,
gonna be
roll.
ending soon anyway. Because this is the silly I wanted to end on.
This is a definite needed silly. Just Tsubasa curled up on top of Lance and Razz. If Jonah or Harls get close enough, they get pulled into.
Yeah. I say that's a good point to end it, of you guys basically just enjoying your high for the time being, while Jonah and Harley are discussing in the background of how to help.